All right, welcome to Hoops Tonight here at The Volume. Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope all of you guys are having a great day. In case you missed it earlier, Brendan Clean from Locked On Suns came on the show. We did a deep dive of the Phoenix Suns. You can find that a little bit further back on the feed. In this video, we're just going to be covering Pacers Bucks, and then we'll be back later tonight for Lakers Pelicans. You guys know the drill. Before we get started, subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel. It would mean a lot to me if you guys take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget about our podcast feed, wherever you get your podcasts under Hoops Tonight. Follow me on Twitter at _JasonLT so you guys don't miss any show announcements or the film threads that I do every morning. And then last but not least, keep dropping mailbag questions in the YouTube comments so we can keep hitting them throughout the rest of the season. All right, let's talk some basketball. So I thought the simplest way to break down this particular game was that the Bucks just could not guard Tyrese Haliburton. No matter what they tried. Every time they tried low drop, he rose up into a pull-up three and he beat them with that. Every time they tried high drop, he consistently made that pocket pass to Miles Turner, who was amazing in this game, catching and finishing at the rim. Also was amazing on the defensive end of the floor, protecting the rim. He hit some shots in pick and pop situations as well. Miles Turner was fantastic. And that to me is like one of the most fundamental pieces of beating that specific coverage. In the high drop, it's like a softer version of putting two on the ball. And so as that pocket pass is open, that player has to be able to score and make reads out of it. And Miles Turner was fantastic. But low drop, he beat him with the pull-up three. High drop, he beat him with the pocket pass. When they switched, he was able to score on Brook Lopez. And then when they went to the zone, the Pacers did a good job of getting the ball to the middle of the floor. Bruce Brown did a really nice job making those little pop shots in there. He's been good at that shot since he was with the Nets. And that middle of the floor, not just the mid-range shot making, but having a player there that can make quick decisions is a fundamental part of scoring against a 2-3 zone. And the Pacers just executed extremely well against every single coverage the Bucks used. And it just came down to Tyrese Haliburton and the fact that the Bucks couldn't do anything with him. It was interesting too, like down the stretch, they go to the zone to just try to make somebody else beat them, right? But again, against a team with that much offensive skill, it's not easy to get stops with the zone defense, and that's when we saw Bruce Brown get off. Literally, there were two random possessions in that zone stretch where they went to man, and on both of those possessions, Tyrese just beat him, and they came up with the high drop coverage with Brook Lopez. He just beat him with that pocket pass to Miles Turner, and then it's like, then down the stretch, Brook Lopez just switches, right? And Tyrese just quickly tells everybody go to their spot. They run two guys to the corner, two guys to the wing. Tyrese goes to the top of the key. Boom, boom. Hits him with a move to the right. Gets all the way to the rim. Gets into Brook's body to protect the basketball and finishes on the right end of the rim. You guys might remember a play at the very beginning of the game where Brook Lopez switched. He went to the left side. They cleared the side this time. Everyone went away to give him the entire side of the floor. Hit him with the same kind of dribble combination. Got all the way around him and finished on the right side of the rim. And then late, the final play, the dagger on that left wing, it was a high drop coverage possession, and he kind of pulled the ball out to the further to the left, which caused Brook to go with him. His on-the-ball defender basically peeled off, and that's when he hit that step back, which he's been doing a lot against bigs when they come out in that coverage, especially going to his left, especially on the left wing. He can get a lot of separation with that, and he handles the ball really well with his left hand, hits the step back three. And that really fundamentally is the problem. You can't run any coverage against him because he is a counter for all of it, right? If you run any sort of aggressive coverage, so like a blitz or a high drop or a show or a double team in any sort of switch situation, he's going to beat you with the pass. If you run a low drop, he's going to beat you with pull up a three-point shooting. He made two of them. You guys might remember the play where he was talking to Dame saying like, I can do that too, right? Like that's what he did on those possessions. Basic lower drop coverage coming over the top of the screen, knocking down a pull-up three. When they switch, he can beat bigs on switches. He's been beating bigs on switches like damn near 1.5 points per possession all season. He's just outrageously good at organized modern NBA offense. And like, still hasn't turned the ball over this week. He's confident and cocky and talking shit. And like, guys, this is, you know, sometimes in the NBA, we see guys take a leap, right? You're like, oh, look at Austin Reeves. Like, this was a guy who was undrafted, probably should have been an early second round pick, but certainly not any sort of lottery guy. And holy shit, he's like a really good NBA player, right? Or it's like De'Aaron Fox, he's taken a leap this year. Like he's gone from like, you know, a lower level star to like one of those guys that's kind of like just below the superstar level, right? You know, like we see these rises that take place in the NBA, but every once in a while we see an all-time great rising from the pack, right? We just recently saw this with Nikola Jokic, and it's like, holy shit, nobody can guard this guy. And we are literally watching that with Tyrese Haliburton. This is the guard version of Nikola Jokic. Nobody can guard the guy. He is every single play type. When you make him a scorer, he's scoring well over a point per possession. Every single play type, when you make him a passer, he's passing to guys in good position. And they're like little things like Obi Toppin, limited player with the Knicks, but he's found a role on this team just by running his damn lane in transition. That ridiculous reverse lob that he caught from Tyrese Haliburton. If you watch, Isaiah Jackson has a nice contest of Dame at the rim, and you see Obi Toppin just starts sprinting off the left side of the floor, just running as fast as he can. And Tyrese gets the ball. Every single time someone is open up the floor, he makes that kick-ahead pass, leads him perfectly towards the rim for the reverse dunk. This is the rise of an all-time great. That is what we are watching. It's like everyone's talking about the Steve Nash comparisons. It's like Steve Nash, plus like real scoring aggression, more, athleticism in terms of lateral quickness. He's got the jump shooting is insane. Obviously, Steve Nash was a great jump shooter as well, but it's like that, but just stretched out into like more of a dynamic athletic player, right? It's like, get on board, guys. This is not just another hot streak. This is a guy that all of the best players in the NBA are struggling to guard, right? Now, is he going to light everybody on fire to the extent he did the Bucks? Probably not, because the Bucks have some issues at the point of attack, which we'll talk. But the meat and potatoes of what he's doing is replicable at all levels of the NBA. He even made some defensive plays in this game, which he's been a bad defensive player this season. But as a team, the Pacers are kind of rounding into form. And that, to me, is the key, because outside of that third quarter run, if you go back to the first half of this game and both halves of the Boston Celtics game, they're playing good defense. They're playing good defense. And I talked about in our Pacers deep dive last week, I think it was after the Heat game, if I remember correctly, I talked about how like they have the personnel to at least be okay because of all their speed. And like they do have guys who can defend at the point of attack, like Bruce Brown and Aaron Nesmith, who's been amazing in these last two games. And so like they've got guys who can take the top end personnel. They have speed off the ball. Miles Turner can protect the rim. They are capable of being a better defensive team than they've shown to this point in the season. They've shown it this week, and it's led to wins, and now they have an opportunity to play for the NBA Cup on Saturday. Now, the offensive glass is still an issue. That was something that was an issue all game. And obviously in the long run, that's going to be something they're going to have to address by just more basically upgraded versions of Obi Toppin and Aaron Nesmith, right? But those are big picture conversations about the Indiana Pacers, right? Within the scope of this season, they can defend better than they have, and the offense is completely and utterly unguardable. And Tyrese Haliburton is playing like a superstar, and he is here to stay, guys. This is not a short-term thing. Jump on the bandwagon. This dude, he's on the Steph track. He's on the Jokic track. He is headed towards top-tier superstardom. That is what we are seeing. Just outplayed Jayson Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Dame Lillard, all in this week in high-stakes games. And not to mention, he's got some of that Steph thing going on where like he's just incredibly fun to watch. Like I said, I'll shout out a couple of other quick Pacers. Miles Turner, like I said, amazing in this game, protecting the rim and working out of the role. Aaron Nesmith, his possessions on Chris Middleton, he just flat out erased him from the game. On Giannis, I thought he did a pretty good job. He's giving up a ton of physical advantage there, and Giannis got him a few times. But for the most part, picked him up full court, applied ball pressure, disrupted his rhythm, got some stops. I thought he was really good. And then that bench group, that Isaiah Jackson with TJ McConnell and Ben Mathurin, like that group is defending really well, and TJ McConnell's just organizing them and making good plays. And TJ McConnell is deceptively like he's a guy that like a lot of people don't think of as a great athlete, but he's super fast and like he can beat people off the dribble. And that to me is like the start of it, right? It's beating people off the dribble. He's got a good little 10-foot drifting fadeaway, and then he's a great passer, and that just gives him the ability to organize that unit. And then all of those guys are flying around on the defensive end of the floor. This, again, I said after our last Pacers deep dive that right now they're just an exciting team, but if they want to make some real noise, they have to defend better than they have this week, and suddenly they just beat the two best teams in the Eastern Conference, and they're going to have a chance to play for the NBA Cup on Saturday. In the NBA, the game can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, DraftKings Sportsbook has your back. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub. They even have great same-game parlays. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code HOOPS. That's HOOPS. New customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball, only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code HOOPS. The crown is yours. On the Bucks front, if it looked to you like the Bucks couldn't guard in transition, that's not just a Pacers issue. Like we saw this game, not just on misses and steals, but made baskets. The Pacers are just running down the floor and getting wide open shots. They're not getting matched up. They're not sprinting back. Bad transition defense principles, right? Like transition defense is simple. You sprint back, basket first, then you fan out. You match up with anybody in a transition play. You don't look for your man. You look for any man. When you settle, if you can get back in time and you have opportunities to switch back to your matchup, great. But in transition pushes, you have to just get matched up. You have to communicate. They're not very good at it. And by the way, Milwaukee allows opponents to play in transition on 18% of their possessions, which ranks dead last in the NBA. A significant issue in this game. And then the point of attack defense is something I'm not the only guy, but everyone's been preaching about all season, which is like, can Dame and Malik Beasley defend well enough at the point of attack to give your defense a chance to be good enough to compete for a title? And the answer is no, to put it simply. I've said this about the Bucks and the Lakers all season. Like, upgrades at that point of attack position is what their season basically hinges on. And if you think about it, like against over the dregs of the regular season, you can be a good defense if you're good on 2 of the 3 levels. Now, what are the 3 levels of defense? Point of attack, ball screen defender, weak side defense, like rotations and help side, right? Those are the 3 layers. The Bucks are excellent at the rim in their pick and roll defense, and they're excellent in rotation and in help, right? So, like, and then the 4th level would be defensive rebounding, right? But I'm just talking about actually guarding the plays themselves. But defensive rebounding is an important element of that, right? But the Bucks are great on those 2 levels, but they're really weak at the point of attack, and that can give you a good defense, or at least a passable defense, over the course of the regular season. But against these types of teams, you have to be great at all 3 levels, and that's why, it'll be really interesting to see who wins this Lakers-Pelicans game, because the Pelicans are excellent at the point of attack, excellent in help, but bad in terms of their rim protection and ball screen defense because of Jonas Valanciunas, right? The Lakers have players for all 3 levels now that Jared Vanderbilt is healthy. Like, you're going to see Jared Vanderbilt on Tyrese Haliburton. They're good in help. They're good at the rim. They've been one of the best defenses over the last month in the league. I'd have to look, but last time I checked, they were like 3rd in the league over the last 10, 15 games. So the Lakers are going to be an interesting challenge for Tyrese, but we'll see when we get there. But to have any hope of guarding Tyrese Haliburton, you have to be good at the point of attack, you have to be good in your ball screen defense, and you have to be good in help. And I thought that you just saw a pretty clear example of the fact that the Bucks could not defend at the point of attack. Tyrese Haliburton was getting wherever he wanted, and that was where everything broke down for this team. And then lastly, on the Bucks front, like, Dame talked about this. He was like, hey, we're 15-6, but like, I haven't even really got going yet. I don't even have my 3-point shot yet. This is going to get crazy. And like, I tend to agree in the sense that like Dame has started to shoot a little better as of late. We're starting to see more flurries, like that flurry he had to start the second half. But in the big picture, he just hasn't been good enough. And this team will not be a championship contender unless Dame can get back to where he was last season. That is an absolute prerequisite. Now, I still believe he will do so, but we're now over a 4th of the way through the season, and he's still not to that level. And so the onus is on Dame to figure his stuff out there, because Giannis is having the best season he's had since his title year. Giannis is incredible. So Dame's got to meet him at least near that level for this team to get where they want to go. All right, guys, that is all I have for this video. I will see you guys in a few hours for Lakers Pelicans. Should be a fun one.